Hello guys, my name is Piers, and in this video we're going to see how to use IAsyncEnumerable and when to use it. Let me show that with an example. I have an IAsyncEnumerable project here, and I have an IAsyncEnumerable demo.repository in which I have a hero repository. I have a static read-only list of heroes with 10 heroes, and now I only have exposed one method, the getHeroByIdAsync, in which I wait for half a second to simulate a database delay, and then I return the hero based on the ID. Now, let's imagine that we don't have access to that repository, we can't change the code, so the only way to get all heroes is to retrieve them one by one, and this could also be an API endpoint or something else that we can change. So I have here a console project, and I need to print all the heroes. Now we can initialize our repository, so let's say var repository equals with new hero repository. Okay, and let me copy and paste the IDs so you don't have to see me write them, and also I'll paste the console.writeLine retrieving heroes. And now we need to get all the heroes, so let's create another method to do that. I will say async task of IEnumerable or list IEnumerable of hero. I will call that get all heroes, and let's also pass the IEnumerable of int, which is our IDs, and the repository, so hero repository, and that complains because that's actually a local function, because we are in program.cs, and we can change the names if we want. So let's call that, I don't know, int, and that repository, let's make that a hero repository. Okay, and in here let's initialize a new list of heroes, so var heroes equals with a new list of hero. And now let's say for each of our IDs let's take the hero with that ID, so var hero equals with await hero repository dot get hero by ID async, and let's pass the ID, and now let's add that to the heroes, so heroes dot add hero, and finally let's return our heroes, so return heroes. And now in here we can say for each hero in await get all heroes, and let's pass our IDs and the repository. And now we can say something like console.writeLine, and let's print the hero ID, then a dot, a space, and then the hero name. Okay, let's run it to see what will happen. And as you can see, we print retrieving heroes, and then we wait and we wait and we wait, and then when we have all our heroes back, we print them all together. Now the problem with that, as you probably saw, is that we have to wait to retrieve all the heroes to print them. So it will be easier if, instead of waiting for all the heroes to be retrieved and then return them, to use something like yield return. For example, in here we could say, for example, yield return, but as you can see that will not compile because we can't use the yield keyword in a method that returns a task. So that's when IAsyncEnumerable comes into play, and we can actually use the yield return in asynchronous code. So let me show you how we can do that. I will change the signature of that method, and instead of a task of IAsyncEnumerable of heroes, it will be an IAsyncEnumerable of hero. So let me do that. IAsyncEnumerable of hero. And now the only thing I need to do is, first of all, let's remove that code. And now I'll say that for each ID in this ID, yield return that hero. So yield return await hero repository dot get hero by ID async. And as you can see, that compiled now. And now we need to change the code where we call that. So all we need to say in here is, instead of for each, we will use an await for each, and everything else stays the same. But now we don't await the get all heroes, since is an IAsyncEnumerable, and it looks something like that: await for each var hero in get all heroes, since that get all heroes is now returning an IAsyncEnumerable of hero. And now if I run that again, so you can see retrieving heroes, and then we retrieve, and then we printing heroes one by one as we retrieve it. So that is how IAsyncEnumerable works, and that's how we can call it. And I actually want to show you another example really fast, because IAsyncEnumerable is something that it's built in some of the dotnet libraries that we can call by default. So let me show you what I mean. I will go in my console project and I will create a new text file, add new file. I will call that heroes.txt. Okay, now let me copy and paste some heroes. We could have a JSON format with the ID, but for simplicity we'll have just the names. So back to my program.cs, I will remove that since we don't need them anymore, and we also don't need the IDs. And let me first of all change the properties that to be a copy if newer, so it will be copied to the output folder. And now let's see what I meant. I'll say await for each, and I'll say var hero in file.read lines async, and I'll give the path, and that will be my heroes.txt, and I'll say console.writeLine hero. And as you can see, I can use that await for each syntax, since the file.read the lines async is an IAsyncEnumerable of string, so that will go and read each line from our text file, but as it reads it will return it, so that we can print that. Now we won't see much of a delay in here, since it's something very simple, but just to see that everything works, I will run it. And that was an introduction to IAsyncEnumerable, how it works and what's the syntax around it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a nice one.